Good morning, students. In today's lecture of TOC, we are going to understand what is Arden's theorem's proof and its numerical, so that the concepts are clear to you. Mostly the questions it comes out to be like, some finite automation is being given to you, and you have to find out the regular expression of it using Arden's theorem. So this is what we are going to understand. So let's start. What is Arden's theorems? Arden's theorem. See, maximum number of the question or maximum marks that comes out to be of this Arden's theorem based question is generally 5 marks or 10 marks questions comes. So some finite automation must be given to you, and you have to convert it into regular expression and using Arden's theorem. So let's first prove what is Arden's theorem is all about, right? So what is Arden's theorems? Let's P and Q be two regular expression, right? Let us consider the P and Q be any regular expression, and if P does not contain null string, then R equals to Q plus RP has unique solution, that is can be written as R equals to QP asterisk. This is what the Arden's theorem says, that according to Arden's theorem, if P and Q be any regular expression and P does not contain any null strings, then R plus Q plus RP has unique solution. That means R is equals to Q plus P claim closure, and this is what we have to prove. Right now we are going to see the proof of this Arden's theorem. Proof. So what equation is given to us? R equals to Q plus RP is, we have to prove that has a unique solution. Then it can be written as, how it can be written as R equals to QP claim closure. This is what we have to prove. Now we are going to see the proof it. Now see, R equals to Q plus RP. Now we are going to substitute the value of R from equation number 1 into equation number 2. Now from equation 1 to equation number 2, we are substituting the value. So R is equals to Q plus, now how R can be written as, according to equation number 1, Q plus RP and then P. We are doing nothing, we are just substituting the value of R from the equation itself again and again. So how you can write it? Now Q equals to Q, R equals to Q, QP plus RP ka square. See, I have not done anything, I have just opened this P, right? Now again I am going to substitute the value of R. R equals to Q plus QP plus, what is the value of R from equation 1? Q plus RP and then P ka square, right? Again Q is equals to QP plus QP square plus RP Q. Now you can see, if you see the series, you can see that what is happening over here. See what it is coming. If we keep on doing like that, substituting the value, then it's going to come as QP plus QPQ plus QP4 up to infinity it will come. So R equals to Q. Okay, so this is how it is coming. So Q, and we are going to take, what we are going to take? We are taking Q commons, and what is going to come in? When nothing is there, epsilon plus P square plus P cube. So this is square, this is Q, P cube and so on. Now R is equals to Q, P F claim closure. Why? Because we know that R abstract or claim closure, A abstract is equivalent to, we have seen in our prior lecture, that is equivalent to epsilon A 4 times C. So it can be written as, what you can write it? Epsilon A square, A cube, right? So A star is equivalent to this. Similarly, if you are comparing, this equation with this, so since A claim closure is equals to epsilon A square, A cube. Similarly, here instead of A, P is there, epsilon P square, P cube. So it can be written as P closure, right? So hence it is proved. Hence Arden's theorem is proved that R equals to Q plus RP can be written as R is equals to QP star. Hence, proved. Right? This is clear. We have seen the proof. We have seen what exactly the Arden's theorem is, and then we have seen the proof of the Arden's theorem. So it's very easy. Right? Now we are going to, in order to get the concept more clear, we are going to take an example. We'll take an example in which we'll convert the finite automata into regular expression using Arden's theorem. Right? So let's take an example. First we'll take a finite automata. Let's Q1, Q2, Q3. These are the three states. Now Q1 is, we know, circle inside the circles implies final state and arrows implies initial state. So this is, let's say it is A, it is going to transition B to B, then from B it is going to B, Q to A, and it is coming back to B and A. Suppose this is the finite automata which has been given to us, and we have to convert this finite automata into regular expression using Arden's theorem. So how we are going to do this, we'll see. Okay. Now you know, since the Q1 is, you can see the circle inside the circle implies the final state, and since Q1 is having circle inside the circle, so whichever the final state is there, we have to find the answer in terms of that state. So whatever answer comes out to be of Q1 is going to be the regular expression or is going to be the final answer. Now we'll see how you can reach to Q1. What are the various states by which you can reach to the Q1? See, Q1 can be reached as Q1 A. If we go from using Q1 using A, then you can come to Q1. Then similarly, how you can reach Q1? Then Q2. Is there any way by which you can do? No, Q2 from, there is no transition from Q2 to Q1. Now there is a transition from Q3 to Q1. So you can write as Q3 A, then you can reach Q1. So what are the various ways by which you can reach to the Q1? First is Q1 A, then you reach to the Q1, then Q3 A, you can reach to the Q1. Right? So these are the two ways. Is there any possibility from Q2 to reach Q1? No, there is no arrow signs over here in the finite automata. Hence, you can write equation Q1 is equivalent to Q1A plus Q3A. These two states by which we can reach to the Q1s, we have write it down over here. Now since the Q1 is also an initial state, so we can add epsilon to it. Whatever the initial state is there, if that stage, if instead of Q1 Q3 would be there, then when we are finding out the value of Q3, you can use epsilon in that equation. Now since final state and the initial state is same, Q1 only, and since it is the initial state, so we are adding epsilon to it. This is clear to you? Any other confusions? Fine. So let's move. We can mark it as equation number 1. Now second equation, how you can reach Q2. Now how you can reach Q2? See, Q2 can be reached via Q2 only, that is Q2B. You can reach Q2. Now Q3B, you can reach Q2. Since from Q2B it reached to the Q2, Q2B reached to the Q1. Is there any possibility by which you can reach to the Q2 through Q1? Yes. Q1B is again you can reach to the Q2. So you can reach Q1B, you can reach to the Q2. So these are the three ways by which you can reach to the Q2. Now we are going to form an equation with these three ways. So Q2 is equivalent to Q1B plus Q2B plus Q3B. Mark it as an equation number 2. Now the question arises, why we are not putting in an epsilon over here? We are not putting epsilon over here because it's not the initial state. Q2 is not the initial state, so we are not going to write epsilon over here. These two lines are clear to you? Any confusion? No? So let's move further. Now we are going to find out the way possibility by which you can reach to the transition state Q3. Is there any way by which you can reach to the Q3? Yes. What is that way? Q2A. From Q2 if you go take A input and you can reach Q3. Q2, A, Q3. Is there any other way by which you can reach to the Q2? No. There is no entry over here. There is no arrow towards Q3. Only one arrow is there, that is from Q2. So you can write Q2A then you can reach Q3. This is clear. So we are going to Q3 is equivalent to Q2A, right? And mark it as an equation number 3. These threes are clear to you. Is there any problems? What we have done, we have seen what are the various ways by which you can reach to the Q1, Q2 and Q3s, and this is mentioned in the finite automation diagram, right? This is clear to you. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to substitute the value of Q3 into Q2, right? Now by substituting the value of Q3 into Q2, what you are going to get? What is Q2? Q2 is equals to Q1B plus Q2B plus Q3B, right? Now what you are doing? You are substituting the value of Q2, what Q3 into Q2. So what is the value of Q3? Q1B plus Q2B plus what is the value of Q3? Q2A and B. So what we have done, we have substituted the value of Q3 from equation number 3 into equation number 2, right? So this is what it's coming. Now it can be written as Q1B Q2B plus AB, right? And Q2 is equals to Q1B plus Q2B plus AB. Now what it is, according to Arden's theorem, what it is, how you can write it? You know what is Arden's theorem? So how you can write it? Q2 can be written as, this is going to be R, Q1 is going to be Q, this is again R, and this is going to be P. Is this clear to you? We know that R is equals to Q plus RP, and if we are comparing this equation from this form, then Q2 is R, this is Q2R, same, and this can be Q1 and this is going to be P. Now how you can write R equals to Q plus RP? According to Arden, it can be written R is equals to QP, cleanse closure. So similarly, we are going to convert this using this Arden theorems, right? So using this Arden's theorem, we are going to convert it. So you can write Q2 equals to Q, that is Q1B plus, now see here RP. So what is P? This is P. So you can write it plus, no, it's not going to be plus, sorry, we are going to write it Q2 is equals to, that is Q1B and P, B plus AB, right? So you can mark it as an equation number 4. This is clear. What we have done, we have find out the value of Q2, and after finding out the value of Q2, we have compared it using Arden's theorems. We have convert R is equals to Q plus RP can be written as R is equals to Q plus RP asterisk. So similarly, we have converted this in this form, in the form of R equals to Q P asterisk. We have written this in this form, right? And we mark it as equation number 4. Now this is clear. Now what we are going to do next is that we are going to substitute the value of Q3 into equation number Q1 now. Now substituting, what we are doing? Substituting the value of Q3 into Q1. Now we are going to substitute the value of Q3 into Q1. Now Q1, what is Q1? Q1 is equals to Q1A plus Q3A plus epsilon. Now we are substituting the value of Q3 into it. What was the value of Q3? You can see what was the Q3 is equals to Q2A. This is the value. Q3 is equals to Q2A. We are going to substitute this value into equation number 1, right? So let's substitute Q1 is equals to Q1A plus what is the value of Q3? Q2AA plus epsilon. So how we have substituted the value of Q3 into equation number Q1, value of Q3 into Q1. This is what we have gone. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we have got the value Q2. Now we are going to substitute the value of Q2 into Q1. Now substituting the value of Q2 into, say, equation number 5, right? So Q1 is equals to Q1A plus what is the value of Q2? It is Q1B B plus AB cleansed closure and AA plus epsilon. See what we have done? We have simply substituted the value of Q1 into this, right?